We've got some favorite Christmas movies for you, so let's get cracking. Ho ho ho, all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. If you are new, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds interesting to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit that bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Okay, so here are my 10 favorite Christmas movies. The first one is Noel, and this was a Disney Plus movie with Anna Kendrick as the daughter of Santa Claus. She is kind of the one that embodies the spirit of Christmas, but because her father ends up passing, it needs to go to the next male. Well, he has no interest in it, and he kind of runs away. She has to try and find him, and all hilarity ensues. I actually really like this movie. It's, going to be one of those that I watch every year during the holidays. And Anna Kendrick, I think, is very funny. I love Shirley MacLaine in the movie. So sue me if you don't think that Noel is a good Christmas movie. All right, the next one is Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it a Halloween movie? Is it a Christmas movie? You decide. I think it's both. And I love to watch it during Christmas because it does take place during Christmas in the movie. And it is all about Jack wanting to feel that Christmas feeling and just not doing a good job because he's not a Christmas guy. And I think that the music is wonderful. When I first watched this movie, I hated the movie. But after a while, I actually love this movie quite a bit. Again, the music, I love it. The animation is wonderful. Just the design. I personally think it's one of Tim Burton's best films. So, Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely one of my favorites. The next is The Santa Claus. This is another movie that I didn't like when I first watched it. It stars Tim Allen as Scott Calvin, and he is he's like a advertising guy, I think. But anyway, one night Santa falls off of the roof, and he puts on the suit and starts becoming Santa Claus. And, it sounds, for him, it seems ridiculous. He starts growing a beard and gaining weight. But in the process, he learns about his son and the spirit of Christmas. And I just think that it is a really sweet film. So I definitely love The Santa Claus. Next is Home Alone. Home Alone was one of my favorite films when I was younger. And then I kind of thought it was a joke. But then I watched it a few years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I love this film. It is a film about this, there's a lot of violence. This kid is trying to prevent these robbers from coming into his house. He's left alone for Christmas. But there's a spirit in there that it has a lot of heart. And a lot of that has to do with Catherine O'Hara's character, who is the mother. And I just think that it is a wonderful Christmas film. Okay, the next one is A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story is a classic. It runs pretty much all day, every day on Christmas. And it's just a coming of age story. It's a little kid who, like a slice of life from growing up in the 1940s. And it's a really sweet film. And, there's a reason why it's such a classic, and that's because you can't help but love the antics of this family. And it is a funny film. It's got heart. I just love it. All right, the next one is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Now, one would think that this would be a joke, but it is actually a very well done adaptation of Dickens's A Christmas Carol. It's got Michael Caine, who stars as Ebenezer Scrooge. And I was thinking, Michael Caine starring with a bunch of Muppets, but he really commits to this role. And there's a lot of great music. You got the Muppets. What more could you ask for? I think that The Muppet Christmas Carol is a better adaptation than Mickey's Christmas Carol, which is a great film, but it's very short and they cut out a lot of stuff. All right, the next one is Love Actually. I love this film for two scenes. One is the one with Andrew Lincoln, where he holds up all the signs and basically he professes his love to his best friend's wife now. It's a very sweet scene. He just wants to say it. He's not asking her to leave his friend or anything like that. But, he just needed to say that he loved her on Christmas. And I thought that was really wonderful. Then there's a scene that is actually a very sad scene. Emma Thompson should have gotten an Oscar for her performance. Her husband is having an affair, and she thinks that he has bought her this piece of jewelry. And when she opens it up, it's a CD set of Joni Mitchell. And they play the newer version of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now. And Emma Thompson goes into her room. They have to go to this pageant. And she has to collect herself. And she's just all this emotion that's coming up. It's so wonderful. Even though it is sad. There's so many great stories in Love Actually. Definitely great Christmas movie. Okay, next is Miracle on 34th Street. That is and I'm talking about the original. And it's basically about this guy who enters the lives of this family that works for Macy's. And he's hired as a Santa. And the little girl, played by Natalie Wood, doesn't believe it's Santa, but then she starts seeing him and starts believing. And everybody thinks he's nuts. And they even have like this whole trial of whether he is Santa Claus or not. And I won't spoil it, but it is all about the spirit of Christmas. And I love this film so much. Okay, the next one is A Christmas Carol. So there is another Christmas Carol on my list, but there is a version of the film with George C. Scott. If you have never heard of A Christmas Carol, what have you been doing? It's basically about this man, this Scrooge, who's so selfish. And he's visited by three ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And this all changes his mind about Christmas. And it's a very simple story, but it is my favorite story of all time. And George C. Scott's performance is palpable. I mean, like, I was literally crying during some of his scenes. You know, I never thought of him as doing a Christmas movie like this, but he really was amazing. And for that, it is one of my favorite Christmas movies. And the final one is It's a Wonderful Life. Again, another movie that is shown all day, every day during the Christmas season. It is worth it. I went to go see it on the big screen a couple years ago, and I was literally bawling because, you know, you don't have your phone or anything to, you know, take away your attention, and so you're focused on this story, and it is just a wonderful story, again, about the spirit of Christmas and looking at your life and counting your blessings. That's the thing. I know for me, there are often times that I feel very low because, you know, my life didn't turn out necessarily the way that I wanted to be. I'm on disability. I have a lot of health problems. And I can't get around very much anymore. And it really depresses me to be in my house all the time. I'm almost homebound. Just, you know, I'm not homebound, but I'm almost homebound. And, you know, sometimes I forget about the things in life, the friends that I made, the family that I have. And this movie reminds you of that. So, those are my 10 favorite films. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Leave that in the comments below. I would love to find out what your favorite movie is. All right, now let's turn our attention to the Advent calendar. And I feel like this is one of the Coco Loteria. Let's take a look, because it's got a tear tab. And we got another Mama Imelda, La Tata Repuela. That's fine. I love Mama Imelda. And that'll make a good trader. All right. Well, that is it. If you enjoyed yourself, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell for notification. And do like this post, as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Vlogmas, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.